Hello, 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 and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jameelah, and I am a master manifester, and I'm sure you are too because you are consuming content like this. The name of this lovely channel is Holistic Manifesting because I believe in a whole body, whole mind, and whole being experience when it comes to manifesting these amazing lives that we are choosing. Now, I had notes, but I think I lost them. It's fine. I'm just going to go from here. What I'm discussing in this video is how easy it is to take your focus off of everything beautiful that's working in your life. And when I say this, I'm talking specifically about those moments that happen in your life to where you have uncertainty. You don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what the full outcome is going to be, whether it's related to your health outcomes, whether it's related to your children, your family members, your financial outcomes, your career related outcomes, where you're going to live at, all kinds of things. Any type of outcomes that we are uncertain about, is so easy to get caught up into this space of agitation and focusing on the things that aren't panning out the way we want it to pan out, or the fact that we can't see what the outcome is going to be. We can't see what the big picture is going to be. So many times this happens in our lives and we start to stop believing. We stop dreaming. We give up our hope. I've watched this happen with people in my vicinity, people around me, and people at different times in my life, to where I saw them over time start focusing on too much attention on what doesn't work and what's not panning out and what's not creating results, and then losing their desire to work hard for things, or to not even work hard, to put intention towards specific things that they know they would love to experience, because the pain of what wasn't working out was too strong for them. Well, this is the way that I look at it. If you are not putting that foot forward because you're losing hope, or you're losing the vision towards the big things that you would like to experience, when you're not doing anything towards it, that's a for sure sign that you're never going to experience it. That's a for sure sign that it's probably not going to just show up at your door and say, ta-da, here's the life that you've been wanting, that, you didn't want to put intention towards, but here it is anyway. Like, I've never seen that happen. And even when I thought I've seen that happen, there was always more to the story, right? I experienced more recently a couple of things like that. I got all up in my head. And that's one thing that we'll notice too when it comes to stuff like this. When you're operating in your head and you get into what a lot of people refer to as your masculine energy, this is male or female, that's when you find yourself in the most rigid of spaces. You're not even considering that the creator, that the source energy, that the universe is working in your favor. You're not even considering that you don't have all of the information for the outcomes. You're not even considering that you might possibly have it wrong, that you've been wrong in the past before. Why can't you be wrong this time? Especially if your focus is on, this is the doom and gloom. This is what's not working out. This is what I don't get. This is what I don't have. And I created a video last week and I was talking about how the creator is disappointed. And I still truly believe that. And I think that this is like maybe essentially like a part 2 to that idea. That at any given time, you can find so many things to be grateful for. At any given time. And I'm like no master or pro at this. This is why I love to talk about these types of occurrences, because I found myself last week, or maybe the week before that, I can't put the weeks together now, to where I had a couple of days to where I was like really in the mental dumps of not being able to make certain things happen. And crazy enough, when I reached the peak of it, I had made a bunch of phone calls for something I was trying to work out. And the energy I was holding in that moment was of such everything that was beautiful and easy and flowing was completely cut off. The only thing I was focused on was trying to make something happen, trying to push and pull things until it worked out to what I wanted it to be. And when I was making this last phone call, I was on the phone with someone and they were like, let me transfer you to the correct department so you can have this conversation and talk about this thing. And when they transferred me, it was no longer even the same company. It was something called Reliable Parts. And I was like, what is this? She was like, Reliable Parts. And I was like, what is it? I was on the phone with another company, like a completely different industry or whatever. And she said, we do auto parts, Reliable Parts. And I was like, oh. And I was like, that's crazy. I was on the phone with this, that, and that. She's like, oh, that's so strange when things like that happen. She was like, well, I'll tell you this, crazier things have happened. She was like, well, you have a good day. And I walked away, and it's like all I could do in that moment was just fall out laughing. And the reason why I felt like I laughed so hard was because it really just showed me in an instant the ludicrousness of the frenzy I had put myself in, trying to create an outcome that I truly do not have control over at all. And it would only cause mischief. It would only cause a ruckus, like, some discontentment with other people. It would only cause an issue. But I would have the result that I think I deserve to have. And that's what my mind was only focused on. And so another thing that I took away from that, because I'm all about signs and energy, I'm that kind of person, I'm that kind of girl. It was, the company's name was Reliable Parts. And I couldn't help but to think that that was a sign from the universe saying, this is, the creator is reliable. Focus on the reliable parts in your life. Focus on the energy. Focus on the frequency. And whatever it meant, that's what I took it for, okay? The name of this channel is Holistic Manifesting. You know I'm going to be woo-woo. And so that's what I took it for. And like I hung it up and I was like, I'm so done with this. I took all the little notes and paperwork that I had and put it in the drawer, and I went and enjoyed my day. I went and finished exercising. I went and finished getting into the zone, the space that I know allows me to see the beauty that's around me, as opposed to focusing on what little pieces is not in order, what's not working here, what's not working there, what might be this or what might be that. And it's so funny because it's so easy to do. And then so like that night, I decided to go to bed and I was doing my meditation per usual. And, sometimes I say per usual, but sometimes it is not how I go to sleep. But, this particular time and this particular past couple of weeks, it's been something I've been on top of. But I was doing the meditation and then I went to do my gratitude journal, because I still heavily use the gratitude journal that I created, because I just love the way it's laid out. And I was bubbling, like overflowing with things that I could be grateful for. I mean, it went from everything to the end of the night cup of tea to the mug that I was using to have the tea in, to the bed that I have that has a warmed mattress, which I love. It's one of my favorite things. To the puzzle that I've been working on, to my daughter's health, like the big things, like their safety, like look how far we've come, like the advancement that I've seen in career and everything. Just the fact that I even have like work to do, that was a time where I didn't. Just the most basics, even like just a cup of coffee, I can just go grab and get. And so like, I even find myself even on YouTube posting like just my week that happened. And what I do is go through my pictures and pull out just all the little things in the week that made me happy. That was a part of my expansion, like there's contentment that I have most of the time, right? I'm pretty content most of the time. I'm very even keel for the most part, but there are moments where that happiness peaks right? And there are also moments where I dip. So, it goes both ways. And where the happiness peaks. And so when I have those moments, it's like, I'm like, this cup of coffee is so good. I found a coffee shop that makes my drinks perfectly. I've already had one, but I got this thing about being a regular. I don't mind, but it's like a little thing. So I just like to go there at least maybe once or twice a week, but I want to spread around my energy. And I found this new one and it's so good. And it's like, I took a little picture of the coffee. It's like whenever those kind of little things happen, it's a reminder for me to focus on what went right this week. What was fun this week? What was enjoyable this week? What can we improve upon? And my gratitude journal is the same way. At the end of it, it's like, what can you focus on your journey to make you feel better? If you listen to Abraham Hicks, she talks about the only thing that you should be focused on is feeling better and better and better and better. It's like, you don't have to feel perfect. You don't have to feel happy. You don't have to be filled with abundance of joy, but how can you feel better today? And so that's something that has truly been a theme in my life, especially this past week. And I just wanted to share with you all. It's so easy in life to get caught up into and when you get the ball rolling with what's not working, it just keeps on domino. And the reason why is because what's working is a problem solved. And your brain doesn't like unsolved problems. So when you get too much in your head, you start repeating these conversations of these unsolved things like that has to get done. This has to get done. I need to work on this. I got to do this. This is not working out. This is not fair. This is not the way I wanted it to be. And so your brain is constantly in a space of trying to work that out. But if you bring it all back to your heart and you can find yourself and remain in that heart space, the space where your energy reverberates from. I remember, was it Joe Dispenza? Well, he was talking about how they measure these waves from your body, and I believe they're like theta waves. That's what he called it. And like the biggest reverberating energy comes from your heart space, not your head, your heart. And so just knowing that, it's just like, man, when I'm feeling like that, it's like, how can I get back into my heart space? How can I get back into that energy that knows how powerful and amazing that I am on a regular basis? How can I bring myself back to the space of saying, I have complete control over this journey in the way that I feel about it at any given time? And there'll be times where it gets away from me, but it's my job to rein it back in. And so because the problems, things we call problems or things that's not solved, when we get too far in our heads, that's when it just keeps on going. If we get back in our hearts, you'll find that your mind is quieted because it is not more powerful than the heart. It is not the most powerful frequency. It has nothing to do but yield to the energy that's reverberating from your heart because it has no choice. It is lesser. It is like when you talk about something like, if you believe in things like a devil on one shoulder, angel on the other, if you give a tiny bit of energy to that angel, to that light, it completely overshadows this. The only reason why this has a chance is because you believe that the devil has a chance. You believe that the darkness has a chance. The minute you don't give it the weight that it does not deserve to have, you'll see so quickly how the ease and the peace will come back to you. And then you'll think like, I know I do this all the time. I'm like, should I be feeling this good? There's a problem that's not solved. Something that I should be working on. Shouldn't I be thinking about that? Shouldn't I be making notes? Shouldn't I be trying to solve that? But it's like, there's a part of you that won't even want to go in that space because I think the largest part of us, the deepest and most aligned version of who we are knows that many problems or things that we think are problems or solutions and all that, it's not for us to solve. It's being worked out in ways that we don't even have the capacity to comprehend how it's working out. And sometimes we think we want something to work out instantly, but we don't even realize when we finally get the thing, or we finally solve the problem, or we finally approach the date, or whatever it is, the stuff that was happening in the background, we had no control over it. We didn't even have an idea that it was happening. We didn't even know that it happened until after the fact. So if you can remember that and keep that in mind, it's like your only job is to remain in your heart space energy. The only job is to remain cool and calm and collected and know beyond knowing, beyond anything else that you are experiencing, that there is good in my life and all I have to do is focus on it. There is good happening to me at any given time, and all I have to do is allow it to be. The good is here. The good is being experienced now. The only problem is that I'm not focusing on the good. I'm not focusing on the beauty. I'm not focusing on the love, appreciation, and value. I was doing my gratitude journal last night, and when I got to a point of, I was doing I ams, and I was like, I am loved, I am cherished, I am valued. And I was like, I am cared for. It was something along those lines. And what I was thinking about was how sometimes when you are a parent or a mother or you feel like these people are just getting what they need from me, and then it'll be blah, blah, off to the, but it's not the case, because I was thinking about just different moments and just interacting. And I was like, these girls love me so much. I'm like, they love me. They don't want to show me that I'm still cool in many ways, because that is just what kids do. They want to put you, on the outside of what's the in crowd of what's happening. They want to have something for themselves, and it's okay. But I was just thinking about so many things. Like my daughter the other day came back from Barnes and Noble, and she bought me this little book. I'm going to get up and get it. And it's a small thing, right? And it's like flowers for Mother Bunny. And she knows that I put new flowers on the counter every week, and I love flowers, and that's something that's cute. And of course, my children are way past the children's book days, but she knows that I would love this, and I love it. It's one of those things to where you're like, how can you sit and have any type of this is not good enough energy happening when you got a child that brings you home a book like this and they're 18 years old? And, and they're buying it with their own money, and it's like, so that's where it lands with me. Like, even though we struggle through those moments and we have those times to where it seems kind of rough and kind of uncertain in so many ways, we have to be willing to get back into that heart space and say, hey, man, you can't have a life that's not beautiful when you don't have things like this happening, just out of the blue. You don't have a life that's beautiful when you have fresh cut flowers on your counter every week. You know what I mean? It's like something's working, something's beautiful, something's amazing, right? Anyway, focus on the good. There's always room to focus on the good in your life. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.